What do you mean?
But they will inform the public.
What do you mean, Afalinda?
Iko Ministry of Justice ko mampare consultation all because imalefi nyena I feel.
No, but this was supposed to come in February or month of January. January, December. La nyanta kelano. Nyimbilo push telephone munekita. So March le nyino second reading. So you can follow this
27. Second reading default telephone because binna meeting also like ABC and ABC sai na ramona follow mo indiko.
Assembly of the
Assembly Business
Committee, yeah.
So later on someone konye skip. But why?
Ali nyininkale why?
It will aim for office of the clerk maintain you go consultation on mamba. But nko nte maintain the old mundu ala kama consult kotag. Gambians have made their position. Political party positional kene. Positional kene. So actually hope so to mean to kotag. And the deputy will be deputy bongo albiko kachan natural political party. Deputy bongo jeme alo isafono be of very caucusla on this constitution. Mbikakiji.
But he can invite to consultation also.
Yeah, consultation only work any ibun chambers consultation. But the hope Gambian people majority man left constitutional.
In 2024.
2024. Gambian left constitutional, but man left baro draft la or Dauda Jallo draft. Some people call it Dauda Jallo draft or Baro draft. Gambian people don't want it. You understand? So, adu kachal ketale purkamol convince kajeko, we can allow it to come, name for that na jibe, yemel bondije name bondije mol kohani. Because I personally will be mbulnu. But I did a consultation with my people because you know, alafai. Nko yoko dipite o lua jani ka fai ka do kundil. Do you understand? So ikonye ko alta succeed knowledge. But kunu manyamin ke the parliament we attending nalako. Even if you want to make a serious change, fundamental change in the constitution, you will not be able to do it. If MPs can stand up against the diaspora voting, what if I want to put the term limit and say the term limit, because the term limit is vague as it is in the draft now, Barrow draft. Though 50 plus 1 is clear.
Yeah.
You understand? But the integrity, like if I want to bring back the integrity clause. Which
or even vetting of the IGP's office.
Or giving the National Assembly the power to vet people on appointment. Yeah, I'm going to succeed to gang up against this. You understand? So, chance to give.
I told you, I could not friend for you.
No, not friend. He's a technician. I like him for one time. He's a political technician. Yes. What is the majority leader, is the party whip, is the speaker, because I mol command, Cardinal Anaki, Togal, Bull them fen, you know, vote. But what I'm saying is, but Nisi
don't interview Maimuna Sisefi. That day they were supposed to a very serious voting. See, they never had telephone Maimuna Sise. Honega, they were a vote. So for delay house,
fine. See the interest. See the problem of Mendi side. Not a can you make it's good in the interest of the country. But akakele in the interest of one man, that's Adam Barrow. That's what I
was going to say. That's his party leader. Yeah. That is their political party interest.
Yeah, but he needs to build a relationship with their response. Siri offended everybody here during the impasse. But we believe that those mistakes, because one day he stood in parliament, he told Farmata Jawara raised something. He said, if perpetrators and the victims today are in the same man, regretting of their actions, what else can we do? See, he uttered this thing on the floor of the parliament, whether he means it or not. But what I'm saying is, it's time for healing. It's time for reconciliation. So, man, in a court, like a baramoka. Sitting in the Kalal court, this is diaspora. This is an important element in our politics and in our society. Let me support this.
But if they believe that politically the diaspora will not vote for them, it is not into their political interest to let them vote. But so that's what he's defending.
No, they cannot conclude that the whole diaspora are not going to vote. They have their own chapter there. They have their own executive. The ambassador about the diaspora, Congress, you focus on my monetary quote. Mol be mulu jele ko naro nyima kinte nyol be mula mollel jite nyol be mula mollel fa bu sana nyol fol be manda diaspora ol be wold so sa niti na rete na ye inke o dete mol fanan consider wala fo the protest la more than us So même for wala mu ñinti.
See, that's
it's not about politics, not a political. It's different. They are also going to face the constitution.
So now the 2020 draft, you are telling us go at a table learning March 27.
At a table because you come here a consultational back. But Anita the Selesan to legitena. Gambia no position unless and until one thing could be done. Barrow to withdraw the bill back. Minister, as I below you body deputy bongo, and they go and put all those things in Melbondi.
Okay.
Because Melbourne Kafoko 2020 draft nana. Okay. Anyway, executive let's below introduced now. But I know for one thing, 2020 draft is done and dusted. Parliament decision okay.
But it's already introduced now.
Okay. So the introduction on you remember executive let's okay no.
Yeah.
It was CRC Act.
Yeah.
That act has a period.
Yeah, but the document you
the document you know kukuta safedi. Your document letter ya bastardized.
Yeah, edit, yeah.
Yeah, butcher.
Yeah, butchered. So you butchered form you. It's a murundi general.
Yeah,
so cut the fundamentals.
Yeah,
the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Because what I'm 1997 constitution, I have no test for it. To me, it's equivalent to a toilet paper. I'm sorry to say it. Because Supreme Buglam, but Amantan and Safkan. Amantan and Safkan be all these problems in this country be in Fenkolet. And Almamenyol will defend Kang. Almamenyolu, sometimes Nika similar interest like throwing it out. They will be the first to raise the attack to throw this in out. You know why? 40 Almamenyon do form for because I believe they are jembel. Because I tell you, I jembel talamot. I okay, I jembel baby let. Amantara fight and because 2020 did not go the right 2024 did not go through the right process. No. About fight can because at the left in 1997 constitutional. So we are at a crisis as a nation. What Barrow could have done, Barrow could have saved us. Yeah, for them. Barrow yenta below withdrawal. I have go, okay, I'm introducing, but now amendment will bondiji. Mbol murundila. The fundamentals that makes a country a country. That make a constitution a constitution. I will to G. Enter to the parliament. I am a debate. I'm a left man. Bagay second year.
Suppose it's only majority so
sa kamana sila
man how was hanga man ba de woni ni
so but constitutional factor
ñom buguñ
amal left constitutional no
hanga lu tax man ma gom ni buguñ constitution and I've said this several times and I keep saying gis nga Barrow su bugé constitution Gambia am constitution bu es 2020 la mo jël rek gazetat ko as a new document yobu ko parliament so ko yobé parliament UDP even though ak lu len mëna dal duñ am legitimacy duñ ñëmé sax ñu wax dara dañoo dem suñ démé assembly committee stage NPP yena fa oppa li ngeen buga moy nekk fofu because yena am majority
as now what they are doing
comme li ngeen nekk di def nii rek yena oppa ci committee stage lool leen edit moy nekk final document bi te UDP duñ ñëmé ñu vote ko because Gambia ni dañ jël 2020 bi ñu moomale ko seen bopp so UDP politically they will be committing a political suicide to vote against the 2020 now you as the government li ngeen bugga yëpp sa député yi defal nañ la ko fa lan moo jar ngay dem indi consultant di def yeneen loo xam ne jaru ko fa the same document di fay xaalis indi lii rek nga jox ko député yi yow nga mandur si rek wax leen waxal Sidi Ndiaye lii laa bugga gars yi defal la ko fa su boobaa dañ am constitution waaye xam na ne su defee 2944 bi UDP dañoo naan dot sax duñ ko bi ko dégg na ko man dama def show ak Daabo 100 times mu ne dot sax ko fa génne duma ko génne
so the position
so you already know
you know their mindset
they've already given me an easy right
yeah so yow soo bëggoon loolu 2020 bi laay indi yow nag ma jox la UDP nga jox problème bi yëpp ñoom they will accept whether you like it or not they will vote for it Gambia dina am constitution.
Because if they don't, they'll be contradicting themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? And I'm sure they don't want that.
Yeah.
They don't want to be seen from speaking from both sides of their mouth.
That will
you know, because imagine 2020 they cannot come back and turn against the same thing that they wanted to support or voted for.
So you want constitution be done in the 2020.
So Fatu, what you said that completes everything. Barrow doesn't have the political will for the constitution. It's because of the pressure from outside that compelled them to do this alteration. And when party leader cautioned them to say even a dot is removed, to me that was a cautionary statement for you to give people what they want. Do you understand? And as an opposition, you know, you are right. You have all right to caution, to make statements. Do you understand? So kabirin baro yo jodo ko aha. Saya na kana dula so. Mbanda ta be muta na be ostracized, ka be bastardized, ka murundi kan to na support le sa ja fi. You see the deal? So sai opposition le point plus of an ko ana na mat sai tata yama. Sai left away feel. Say, membiji, ibun chambas nyanta memfula, withdraw from the parliament. Let it be withdrawn. Mel botaji, I am murdiji. Say, ni members all for we negotiate.
Do you think?
And the committee
do you think the movement because soon they will negotiate? Muna and because Dabo Akbaro meeting, they had a conversation and the Kuneka was very frank to each other.
Yeah.
Man 24 la bugo no, nyundal nyungi 2020. So they did not even discuss.
But it cannot come in all the time always. So if that is the case, yeah, someone I bumula agenda to mula.
No, but maybe after that consultation, he na president talk na mu hall ne he na lead them. But new wasting time. How a new set na then go withdraw. So he na give them some time.
But hamga bobu tamit.
Possibly that's the reason for this
delay. No, but bobu tamit has implication because fog muri gazetted. Yeah. So they are going to make any amendment.
Yeah,
and paper bobu the file 3 months, 10 days.
That's it, 3 months.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So and we are getting into election year, and there should be a referendum. So you am referendum, you get them election year.
Te time span yeah.
For IEC.
I doubt we will have a constitution for 2026.
So Gambia, we are at a crisis. We are going with the Ajambes constitution. So they are succeeding.
In the midst of a crisis.
So and now Barrow is going to appoint IEC. At least chairperson appoint.
The new one coming.
So Faber neutral, Faber impartial.
Yeah, Malo.
You understand? So say Tolu.
It's like a father. So you have expectations.
So say Tolu bitami.
Saho.
Gambia
Saho. You have expectations.
In 1997 constitution, nimmo wala ftakal dictator sama ni nyaku do bekal dictator.
Yalong Saho. In the midst of crisis, the rules of the game needs to change.
Why so nene so say tam 2020 at 2097 at 24 be nyata changes la for by Helman. No 50 plus. Very would they? No me 97 and in 24.
24 siaka.
Maybe na me
changes maybe
difference all me bela aman siade. So go ahead.
It's not. What I'm trying to emphasize here, let's not just give in and say it's not possible. In the midst of a crisis, how you play the rules of the game will not be the same as a normal circumstance.
Yes.
Now,
so what do you think?
No, so this is what I'm saying. I am not an expert. You guys are in the parliament. You guys know what the timeline.
Neither we are experts. But what is your
opinion? What the timeline says? Like you said, we're in what March, right?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever they're trying to do to gazette it. When you gazette it, it takes 3 months, 10 days. Okay, after 3 months, 10 days, I'm trying to give timeline here. How long will it take after the gazetting, right, for it to be put to a referendum or whatever? I think, honestly, then you want to talk, you put the timeline together. We all know 6 months before election, you know, exactly. So now, election is what? In end of November, December. Wow. So now put the timelines in place. Yeah. Ask yourself if it's going to fall within and it's not going to violate that law of 6 months before election. Let's put it in there because this is something that everybody wants. You will have the will of everybody. You will have the support of everybody. You will have the buy-in of everybody, right? And it makes it easy. If you're trying to put in something that there will be resistance, then you say it's going to hinder. There will be hindrances when it comes to timelines and, you know, because you'll be faced with obstacles. Why law hamne, let me not say 100%, but majority buganenko. You have their support, their blessing to carry forward. I think you can meet up with the timeline if the political will is not there. No, I think it is possible if the timeline allows it. But lolo line different because you know, okay, do possible, do lead, do
no, because no, the assembly. For example, so you go gazette 3 months, 10 days. You indicate gazette assembly. You treat it with urgency.
Yes.
Exactly.
It can come on the certificate of urgency.
Urgency?
But this is a constitution.
Yeah.
It's different from.
It has to go to,
No, because you have to go clause by clause.
Clause by
you
clause.
have to look at
no, but we have done that already. Honorable.
No, but you have to follow the process.
That's the process.
That is a consultation that has been done. Now, the report. Yeah. The report of the committee can be easily adopted.
Yeah.
We can use another means.
Yeah.
That's why I said Barrow could have just like what you said, to allow the 2020 draft to come. We give it to the Human Rights and Constitutional Matter Committee to do the consultation with the people.
Yeah.
People, even 2020 draft, people have their
People have issues, yeah.
No constitution is
No
100%
constitution
good.
is perfect. There's so many issues that I have with the 2020
Yes,
draft.
I remember.
But I understand that
myself
yeah, I have so many.
But, the
But
problem
again,
is-
we
the
go
problem
along
is
with people.
Gambia needs a constitution, and I think what you said, majority wants that.
Yeah.
But now, how? The manner. There's a problem. Because, here, the two, important person to this bill is President Adama Barrow and Usenda.
The two big parties.
Yes.
Yeah. If they give it a blessing, it goes.
So
That's the fact.
If Barrow is really willing for compromise, I believe during their dialogue, I wish I'm there. This is what they could have done. Look, Hussein don't want Dot to be removed out. Okay, you have your members in the parliament. These things should have been withdrawn long time. Just bring the draft as it is, Sulayman Jallo's draft. Introduce it. Now, like what you said, tell members that I don't want this. Let them make their effort. Now that's parliament now. But you remember, they said, no, it's not us, it's MPs who threw it out. So that's why I said, I wish Seni Jawara is here today. Seni will not have the moral authority. Seni Jawara, Abdullah Sisi, Keba Jallo. In that house, they will not have moral authority to talk to me about a constitution.
I spoke to Ablai here. He
Yes,
said,
I told him.
Ablai ko, aleta
They don't
committee
have the
state.
moral authority.
Mari kaya ko, muna nalman son 2020 ngata committee.
Yes,
Ablai ko aleta
because-
committee.
Yes. Because committee, Abulai, when I was crying to them, Funke Manini, Nise Kumaranyon, I'll be in Bulan committee stay. President wala nyin tamo nyin na lafta we can negotiate. Nisi mem famu samare because that time believe sa kumba boy ndilan. So ala tamo nyin take ma worry about. Because take on nina boy ndi tam limit we better constitution. Not a boy to wrong at a boy.
Yeah.
So that's not my worry. But the institutional reforms would get it right.
Yeah, that's very important.
The 50 plus 1.
We cannot...
Because the 50 plus 1, ni oppositional fanaya long, ni 50 plus 1. Gina fan oppositional fan.
And this is what I tell opposition fana. Yang te fana ngamne for oppositional fana. Ning oppositional fana lafta. Sometimes I look at it, even in 2024, there's so many bad things in the 2024. But the fact that if I am an opposition, man fimo ko hole wala ko 50 plus 1. Yalo ni obije. Nim president o because nga ko we nyaminte. Africa betembo minto. Puruka incumbent win aka koleale. But also because of this economic hardship and ko be carry puru incumbent fane 50 plus soto
It's very hard.
is very hard.
Yeah.
So ibaje lako ning 50 plus the constitution okon. Atol fanang opposition can always regroup and say, we're coming after you.
Yeah,
So Lulu is an opportunity. Now, once you have that, after you are in government, you can go and edit other stuff.
Yeah.
You cannot have everything.
And
that is also something they can look at.
What do you say?
You also should, opposition should also compromise certain things.
Yes, I think what you said, it makes a lot of sense. But as I said,
Man, if I was an opposition leader, this is going to be my
the
take.
damage has been done.
Yeah, I think,
Do you understand?
The process is what upsets a lot of people.
We came from that direction. That was my stand, to be honest.
Yeah.
But after thorough consultation with my people here and diaspora, they all advised me to vote against it. But my take was, and I tried to convince my members at the time when we had a retreat over it. Let's give chance to it to go to the committee stage. We propose amendments and expose them to the whole world.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons to expose them is to go to a committee stage.
Yeah.
Like what happened yesterday. Yesterday, you don't know who and who vote against it. So even Chambers and others will know that Comparo is not interested in the constitution. But it alone know anyone at committee stage. That's my take. Another take.
Yeah.
When you go to the committee stage, you can expose them. Because I will propose. You may be able to, I will propose. Speaker, I propose this into be there. Let's vote. Those who want it.
So you know who is voting for this and that.
Far left the constitution. I'm a left constitutional far. I cannot take it. I left the constitutional. Manya meant that Kabringa added to la Fubi. But say he wants to put the opposition also at a funny
position, yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if I follow opposition of a man compromise, 10. Fine. So what I'm going to we are in a limbo.
Yeah, in a
crisis
very
level
funny,
carry.
yeah.
So out of every crisis, nene ko solution also settled.
Yeah.
But nene di I down.
Nene lang na phone mo solution si ko if constitution.
Nene they are very slick.
No, come lima don't explain that in here. Baro mo am pour ben, right? Because outrightly, I think ne.
But I position of that son.
That's the thing. Ginga analogy.
Baro war na ben, why ñom tam am na luñ wara bay.
Lola bugo wani.
Okay.
Lola bugo wani. Because soko hole, I'm just taking you back to 2020.
Yeah.
You know, because the gis ne baro fofu no mom biram was the retroactivity.
Yeah. Fofu tay bo halatu ton yenen ni sax.
Anything else?
Ñom fofu rek lañ ci yoon.
And they often you misinterpret la ko in direct proof and misinterpret ñame.
Exactly.
Because parliament has the power to do that.
Retroactivity bi mo nekkon mom biram fala tiye won. Man my former party liñ doon advocate for wow, Citizen Alliance.
Wow.
Wow,
sa boss gis na sa ñu vaako. Go, sa boss gis na ñu vaako fa na ko play fi. Donc Peter daf ko laaj, Peter ne ko yow constitution bi dafa failoon baro 2020 mu ne di constitution bi dañ ko sànni woon. Léegi Peter ne ko why when you blame for Barrow mu ne ko me bring me tape I never blame Barrow for it rek ma gis xale li UDP xam nga ñoom dañ gaay dañ dem jël 2020 bi ngeen defee seen press conference
waaw kay
bi muy naan President Barrow and his people threw the constitution out gaay jël bi teg ko ni ma ne sa boss
no ba ma gisee vidéo maa ngi seen suma booba ngi feeñ ma ne tànk sant yàlla ka ko def gërëm naa la ne feeñ génnew loo ma si dang ma dok waaw maa ngi seen suma booba ngi feeñ so loolu lay try pour wax si fii nii then ñun ñu ngi doon advocate because bi mu tàngee ok ñu ne ok ñun suñ position mooy woon ok you know what lim buga understand nga mooy ne retroactivity nit ku nekka sa buga nga xam te sa buga tey nga nekka di xëy ëllëg li xew xamuloo ko parce que moomuloo sa boppa right ba pare moomuloo nit ñi léegi let's strike a compromise because 50+1 absolute majority loolu yëpp is very very important term limit waaw naka lañ ko waxatee sax let's strike a compromise ñu ne okay you know what we will agree with that retroactivity clause let's put it there ñu jox la li nga bëgg comme que loolu rek mooy sa disagreement let's put it to
but we told them
let's put it out there you understand and then what we're going to do is opposition bi yëpp bi nga xam ne ñoom itol be kankiling ite damale ko ñinti ntol be ko wote kila sign mbe wala dile la ntol be nga ke kankiling right we go out there and canvass and campaign massively against you. Man, I believe if that has happened, 2021, Barrow would not have been election. Would not have been the president because everybody would have been in unison. Yeah, understand? So our issues would have been sorted out by now. Man, that's what I believe.
But let's go to the committee stage. The time is second reading. Because second reading, the threshold is only 15 or 16 members.
Yeah.
If they vote against it, you cannot go. Let's go to the committee stage. This retroactive, we can look over it. They will not take the risk. Yeah, because we form the majority.
They don't want to do the risk. Like UDP, they make a one. Almame, gis nga dama fi indi Madi Cissé ak Ablaye Cissé.
I watched that.
Madi mu ne Ablaye lu tax 2020 nangu la ñu dem committee. Loolu li ngeen risk bi ngi gaay ñu ne no they could not have taken that risk. Because ñi ñoo open time bo aussi assembly. Madi ne ko nag risk bi ngeen bañoon a jël ñun tam duñ ko jël.
Anda fela fintita kunu Fatou. Yala Madi la kuma kama fela fintita because kunu menketa ji nintara committee state. Mo be ka ngina fo fonda respect ana ni bente kande ba jam fala.
Almame wol fa ko malla ñola. Ako ni ko nga agreement okay ni nga agreement okay jang nin tata floor. Sidi Ndiaye kuma decide la ibebe falin na la
alo ku kilim fana beje
but is that nakarin ko hate a testament ne ate Sidi Ndiaye kuma kumandi
no
but in right now yalong what interview was weeks ago right aye wofo ko imang nyo trust right
yes imang
now d'accord ta fan Sidi Ndiaye mo kumandi side aye kumol foye ni nata floor ye change sai ite kabirin Sidi Ndiaye ñol be mitunona fo ima fo janko almame la fo ko to be mitunola almame ma foko yemingo min nati jang kana songola sai ngola tin nan ka correction no nyinin ka
fo fa fa be mitunola
fa fanan aye wo position sotole bare kabirin Sidi Ndiaye pareta Janni voting bekala. So Sidi Njai ya call corner side. Ayo kumol palai wala tina ayala position change.
No, Sidi Njai baka almame convince.
Munakara.
Almame is my brother. Almame bula.
But no,
Fahi almame nyeti yo wanga fofi ba almame.
Man, flip-flop. Understand? Man, you cannot come here and claim to be this person, but your actions does not match with your utterances, you know, or your words. So
the thing is,
otherwise I have a problem with that.
The chance for the constitution. Obey Adamal Barasanti.
Okay.
You understand? Okay, but party the main quote. At least Gambian people only endorse
2020.
You understand? Through the consultation. Why now? So whatever happened in the parliament, party did not consent to it.
Hani atole ba ijibe.
Among care. But party did not you know, a process, a legitimate body was set up by the CRC.
And there was a process.
And finance was spent on that. A lot of money was spent on that. 116 million. Only 15 or 16 names went to it without. Because to celebrate, because State House can celebrate.
Yeah.
So Reni Adamale or conspiracy yinke. So Ngame follow me to sign. Adama, this is his legacy. It's not about Bausen's legacy. Bausen is not the president. It's Adama's legacy. Adama Fana is Songwala. The best thing is a constitutional withdraw Katabake. For 3 months on Yimbe Gazette. I nana. None of them. Now, a deputy Oliana, Delta Kulodi Lemon La Pruka Lobin.
But let me say this, Saho. You know, I'm not sure if you will be able to answer it. I was consulting in regards to this 2024, 2020 and all that. And somebody, Lima Wahmaine, because I was putting to them that, you guys are using this 2024 constitution as a mold to satisfy a group and outside people to say, you know what, the president is willing, we did the work, we brought it, but they threw it.
I agree.
This is what I was arguing. I say you guys are not honest and things like that. But you know what this person told me? It's like you guys don't understand the game. It's like understand the game. Nakalin ko hate, Usenu, more neka they mislead people because the same 2020 constitution, big Usenu de wax now nenko in the word in 2020, daf ko again, dafa banyon. You understand? Even when they went to Murifama, when we went to Nigeria, you understand? We had this, we did this, we did it. Almost at the end of the day, everybody else that was there came to a consensus to compromise, but he was the only one standing alone to say no. So this is what argument. So for Zeno to come back now and say, bring back the 2020, nyom they believe ne, mom tamida paneka, they hide behind, understand? Knowing ne, bobu no already them na. Hit mubuga konyebi bring. So this was the argument. We had a bitter argument. Let me just cross my mind. They brought that argument also.
No. I think I'll also explain something.
Okay.
Let me explain.
But this is them bringing it.
I understand. Here is the argument. Yeah.
They used to say.
But I think
But let me tell you that Abuja meeting came after when
the draft was thrown away. Yeah.
The Abuja meeting was a consultation led by Goodluck. Do you understand? Because we started it
international idea.
We started it here. We couldn't end it up. They feel like, okay, let's take them outside. Because they have been trying all along for Gambia to have a constitution, which is a need. ECOWAS want it, AU want it. In Pan-African Parliament, if you go there and say Gambia is still using 90, they said, are you people crazy? They look at you as sick people.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, we have to be honest. Husseini's position ever since was the constitution that has been, though he has some reservations about even 2020.
Yes.
Because, I remember one of the consultations, I went there with him and some of our guys. He was recommending for this mixed breed. Do you understand? Whereby parliamentarians can become ministers. Do you understand? So, because in the other time, those days, it has been happening.
Yeah.
But some have said, no, it has to be a complete separation of powers. Do you understand? It cannot be like, to have people in the legislature at the same time being various checks and balances. So he has some reservations. But, that doesn't mean that he doesn't want the draft to come to National Assembly. Do you understand? But this 2024 draft has been altered 100 and something times, the alterations that they made. And the fundamentals, for me, I don't care about, like what Fatu said, certain amendments.
Yeah.
When we come, we can change them.
Yeah.
They are, in fact, those are not entrenched clauses.
Yeah.
But you know why? This vetting in all the countries in the sub-region, people want to make sure that Sulayman cannot just be appointed without being vetted.
No, background check has to be done.
Exactly. Do you understand? And we take out
record should count.
integrity. If our leaders don't have integrity, how do we expect them to be, in fact, responsible to the oath that they have taken? And you are always taking oath. If I a Muslim, they give you Quran. If I a Christian, they give you Bible. So you want to take away the whole chapter. And not only that, do you understand? They also,
accountability.
Yeah, accountability. They don't want the transparency. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, but what they want is, they want this master-servant relationship to have the authority to appoint, to fire and appoint.
My thing is, even when the Supreme Court ruled that, if the president nominates somebody,
yes,
he doesn't have the power to remove.
Now,
this is a ruling of the Supreme Court.
And Fatu,
they went ahead and said, no, we want the president to have those powers.
Don't stand on the committee stage, but then no. It will be interesting in the committee stage.
Yeah.
For people like Fatma Jawara, Maimuna Nyul, Kebala Nyul, from Begele, both support Lanaba, they will vote for that or for the constitution of the
Yeah.
Then it will be very interesting.
Yeah.
So then it means Barofan as a kino kula bakono, as a kino ni pasta,
Trust me,
from Bajela Ibodo by Econoba Maloma.
Saho,
Yeah.
Saho,
You know?
you'll be disappointed and surprised that they will vote for it.
Go on for it.
Because that's what their principle wants. It's not about
But no, okay.
It's not about proper laws.
You
It's
know-
not about the people. It's about what their principal wants.
Yeah, but the new okay is just giving a knife to somebody to stab you on the stomach. So Barobe do kono wiyala because nani mem kuyat. Abe baile.
I see you here.
As a king or fall after speaker falling in about 4 deputy speaker malongo. You know, well na maybe abo muru de kan.
I don't think so.
Aba mumunika.
Ngola ala draft nyimbal. Ala draft. Ako sa somebody like pride deputy obay. Mela nominated member. Ngo fall after speaker la baile konta malo. Male ga jubani jubayo nyofu.
Cannot Baba carry look at your father.
Basi asa atano ya Fabakar Yakumba will be secure. Yakumba
Right now, can everybody secure?
Yakumba ni salde kal dua Yakumba. Momo nominated member.
But it even insinuate na akiyobe farala.
Isugara kono ni nominated member li yende kal kono kara Yakumba. Ni Yakumba de what time the fitino dolbe je bedol bayla. I know because political bukatu killing. But nomination, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nominated member I'm going to affirmative action.
But right kind,
You know, affirmative action then kajeko the marginalized minority groups are represented.
Yeah.
But in parliament, ni tara dawda ni na yinin kajeka for what? Are you talking about party nomination to contest? Are you talking about that? No, when you say this is what is nomination.
Yeah.
What
do we
do?
Kono ko sidi nyai mi afoko victim and perpetrators be dula killing, right? Peace and blah blah reconciliation.
Do you have to bring that up?
Yes, it's very important. It's very important.
I see.
Yeah.
So you are a guy who is multi andila.
No,
When you see Falcono.
No, so is my wife. Very
Graduate from
close.
Small brother.
But one thing I'm
This is
man, when
graduate.
it comes to Gambian issues, I don't even see people's face. But see, to say that, I say no. Yeah, understand. Bari membe siring jana victim so. You understand? Membe baluring. Mem fata ila family mu victim ole.
Yalo, ibe sirinji. It's very unfair on them to say that. And one thing we have to acknowledge, yes, we can advocate for peace. We can advocate for reconciliation. We can advocate to forget and move on.
But we have to accept.
But we have to acknowledge our mistakes, if we want to call it that.
Apologize.
And then there should be justice, because we cannot reconcile in the absence of justice.
That's why they call it TRRC.
We cannot move ahead when justice is not served. Ni all of them when gis nga bay ak xar buñ boké nik naweta tax. So ni victim ni perpetrator so be dula kili.
Samala wasab.
Samala ya wasab. Ni sama banta doron ibe janjan.
Ne fo de so say.
Ni sama banta doron ibe janjan.
Anu le janjan man jamfa. 2026.
So whatever they're saying, whatever privileges they have right now, let them always have at the back of their mind. They're riding on the sweat of people to be where they are, and all those privileges and enjoyment.
Exactly.
I don't like it when they become so dishonorable, when they become so forgetful that everything is good and dandy and rosy, forgetting that people are still suffering.
Yeah.
And people are dying by the day, because victims, They're not being killed. Some of them are still getting worse. And before you know it, they're going to die.
They are on their deathbed. But what I'm saying, if the victim themselves have surrendered, given them themselves, tell them that, yes, you have done this thing to me without the truth, without the reconciliation, I don't care as long as I'm here. This is what we are seeing in this country.
But it's all vulnerability.
In Sierra Leone, it happens there. South Africa, it happens there. The reason why they call it Truth, Reconciliation, Reparation Commission. Truth must be established first. I know that I have offended Fatu. Fatu knows that Sulayman is the one who did this thing to me. Fatu now can forgive. Do you understand? Now the government can compensate Fatu. That's why reparation come in.
Yeah.
To see to it that the wound, though you cannot 100%, heal the wound, but at least the family will know that justice is
a mitigating factor.
Yeah. You understand? So, but our TRRC has been messed up. Our country, we are at a crossroad. Many people are not putting this thing into perspective. We don't have constitution. We have the dictator's constitution that he used to maim, to kill people, to rape people, to arrest, jail people. That constitution is here that we are dealing with as a serious people. The TRRC, people who were murdered, raped, fathers missing up to now. Do you understand? We don't want to compensate them. The small fund that came, I don't know how they share it, unless the minister is invited. And now the minister today telling me that
I know people were given a check of 19,000.
Just go and watch today's
$19,000.
The minister saying that they don't have the capacity, the experts to run reparation. And when you have started something, what is a bring fund? Do you understand? Raise fund. Give fund to these people. Some are still at home. Some are giving pittance. Do you understand? So where is the seriousness in Barrow's government?
Man, what you had is a wife fight ma.
So what we are saying is
Fatu Kamara bete mungi feba.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That
lady mungi
Fajuna bede.
What I'm telling you is, we are dealing with a very serious crisis. And one thing that governments are not watching, don't rule out these people to come back. It's not that Jammeh is physical. Jammeh, I cannot rule it out.
He said he's coming.
I cannot rule it out.
He said he's coming.
Because if I am seeing the enablers, the perpetrators are at our key institutions, they are collaborating, conniving. The communication that is taking place within Gambia, some of you are not observant to it. So our country is prone to a military coup d'etat, is prone to subversion of anything. I'm not saying that that's what is going to happen. Do you understand?
But you will not rule it out.
But I'm not going to rule it out because I'm seeing a lot of signals.
Yeah.
So the Sahel is not stable.
It's
so
sad.
What we need to do today is the oppositions also. We have a mission to fulfill. We have a generational mission to fulfill. Then we must come together on table.
It has to be now.
Do you understand?
We must have
a scheme for 2026.
It has to be now.
We must have a scheme. Let's put all our differences aside. Somebody is appointed as a minister, this MP. That's not the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is the system. Yeah. If there's a system in place, Fatu, how many people are on the Fatu here?
Yeah.
Fatu is employing how many people here? Nobody controls her. Because 2016, there was a level ground we started building. That's where they were all established. Some of them said, oh, had I known, I would have gone. Some said that, no, Manyana in Kilajang, this investment. They were discouraged. Because the perpetrators now are coming and they are following the same scheme. Do you understand? We are seeing animal farm happening again. Huh?
Some are more equal than others.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Comrade Napoleon is always right. Some of us in the parliament behave like, it's wrong to call them sheep in animal farm. I'm saying they are not sheep, but the way sheep were behaving in animal farm. Even if Comrade Napoleon started talking, they are not ready, they will be, throwing themselves on the floor.
The super yellow.
Super jolly.
What to be general it's time of banter. But before I go though, I want to have your perspective. Mesunkaro kono, tomorrow high prices ni sukuru botol mano tulolu yamira as parliamentarians government nyanta mona kala pour ka dañu no sonendi banko dingole
ya koleatale sunkar tana koleatale in banko koleatale sunkaro wa yala fa so nga men volo mo indigo Gambian will be in Dalonalgo, we have a cost to fight. Because when the head gets intoxicated, it affects the body. The rate of corruption in this country, contracts, the way contracts are awarded, the way business, look at the cement. And look at the cement issue, people complain, ja oil, damma, manyana, dilanyina. You understand? Not that we hate ja oil, we don't hate, but the system needs to be balanced. People must be given opportunity to be players. But if quota ya di karakirin da mara, amana supplying kino, mola bungol lot, melbe duno kela, lebe resol, melbe sareti tiolo, moto tiolo melba ayon leba sambal farafenye, mem fandu Africa farafenye. So there is disconnection. So you sunkaro kono lemburo san no nyari, ebe domoro keno no nyari. So wala na ninko good governance, institutional sanity, lefta yin si fallela, but be Fatu tu bota badi bula bama bota badi kirawan Sulayman yana contract ko bisika di fatu killing contract ko biba fatu ya na fay dawda contract ko bi other people will be entered do ko kele makino you understand so Barrow is listening. This is not what we fought for. We want our institutional to be good. Wherever you are, you can be able to perform. You can be able to feed your family.
Ngo contractual ka di janne ka ko mol ka bid ye wini ka fo bari nyimbuka MPP support nyimbuka secondary support. No. There's this project that minketa science. We'll come to it. Yes. This fertilizer project.
Yes.
Huh? No, deka bi dang de buka joy sa. Danga dañoo jël nit ñi ñu ne kii ne ko di support nguur gi ñu ne la kii ne ko di support NPP ñu aaye la contract bi non dëkk bi dafa
they are supporting only one person, that's Mohamed Jah.
That's so unfortunate.
You understand? So Mohamed Jah will get richer and richer. All these people will get richer and richer at the end of the day.
And we will continue to
expense of those
and Karl Marx said
at this point we should all go to NPP.
And Karl Marx said if the gap between the rich and the poor are getting wider and wider, it's the right of the proletariat to rise up against the bourgeoisie class. So the people at the periphery, the people at the downtrodden people must rise up. All of them people, we must rise up. No, because at the end of the day, they
cannot be sustainable.
Fatu, you know, if you cannot beat the system and the system, because system to game saying Keno Bondino, Ndebena Bona, American Natajan, Ndekona Fengola, Batata, Buka Fencer. So Ulfanakan Naki Bruka contract, Pisalo Bekering. No, Janika Nakijila. Let's form a group. Nananyoka. We form a go. Who are we? Kenya, they did it. Botswana, they did it.
Senegal,
Namibia, they did it. Senegal, Bendalaja. If South Africans can reference Senegal, to my surprise, Zuma was one day interviewed. Because Zuma go, do you think that if you are denied, you will have a candidate to win? Because Zuma went to court for two things.
Yeah, corruption.
MK, yalang corruption on Yaman. But la party on Konton Siso, he wanted to register it. So he has a court called ANC Kama, useless because that's the military wing of ANC. So Kabarin court, you court not African into Sarapati on name no. But I found a contest null because he has a legal issue. What happened in Senegal? I referenced them. Will happen in South Africa. If I cannot contest, somebody will contest and win. Kabring Jomoyman Sonko man contest no. Jomoyman ama win.
Yeah.
If South Africa can reference Senegal, Ndoka munelbaro.
I remember there was this job that was supposed to be given to somebody that I work with, Kimaligeya.
Yeah.
You then by the final stage, you know why then brings to my attention the Yangi Ligeya ko hamne is enemy of the state.
Yeah.
That's Talib.
No, Nene.
Talib Juma.
I got it.
Yeah. And that's how they cancel the deal.
Yeah.
Because an enemy of the state is working with
them. And this is Dr. Gajigo definitely been a program, State Capture. I'm going to bring him again because there are so many things you have to see. They could be, you have the lulu for injustice. Yeah. nit ki ngeen def tender mu dem jënd bidding li am bi ay 150 300,000 ñu def documentation spend almost $1 million pour put together seen document and everything borom mu win sax ngeen ne déedéet because du dee support seen parti bi xam nga man dama dee foog ne xëy na Barrow du yëg yi sax man loolu laa dee wax because loolu
système o nji
because lii dama foog ne Barrow su dee yëg lii dina si jóg lii dafa metti
that's what I told
lii dafa metti
man ko enemy of the state
APRC système wala muuta nang APRC système wala muuta nang Gambia
dëkk bi dafa metti de
even to friend me nimmer mu teri malti ndika ko ke sila pour kan walim fa ni ndedum fana naka kenni do la jana sangul ko nda badal this man kabri ya bondi follow gan we are trying to help him to come back kabra bada system ko ni UDP kapu ni na UDP cross ta nyaaya ja ka be ma bol mfana yakuma den kay kan ndelam sollem abe nyaadi ni na kapu anala mul be government mul ndate temaji na miningal mala fay kana ne na la hajo bi tinya la hajo ti
way seetal Alaaji Konte luñ ko def Alaaji Konte dafa defar boppam démba balaa tey démba balaa tey defar boppam nekk electrician from electrician ba tey mu own company biggest electrical company in this country waaye just because da ngeen góob dafa bokk beneen parti yaaxa àddinaam yëpp
yes they stop all the contracts
xam nga loolu dafa metti te loolu dañ ko war di wax every single day
parce que gom-gom bi mooy ne alal la moo nekk di
réew mi doxut waaye
Fatou wala na we need to rise up
this is wrong man lii moo tax every day man dama day gën a mer di mer sometimes dama day def yeneen show ma dem toog si kër gi ma ne this is not me but you talk to people you see you dama day fàtte sa boss you talk to people you see what they are going through how they are treated
soo toogee fi nii di wax du ne yow because to be honest yow yaa ngi lekk yaa ngi naan yaa ngi nelaw sa gannaaw bandang ku la fekk sa kaw la dafa fu ne yaa ngi Singapore in the biggest hotel waaye dafa am ñu la yàq
the masses
dafa am ñu nekk sa gannaaw mbokka yeeg dëkkandoor yooyu li ma dee wax nit ñi rek man su ma nekkee suma kër maa ngi soo ok waaye su ma génnee si bunti kër bi rek gis ma next door neighbor gis mbokka bu ñëw ne daf ma seeti nga xool ko si kaw ba si suuf nga laaj sa boppa man naka laa mun a mel nii yow yaa ngi mel nii te sa biir Gambie bi lañ dëkka so wax bi yëpp ñoo tax ñuy wax advocacy bi yëpp ñoo tax ñuy advocacy
ba pare li ma gis léegi xam nga time boobu Yaya Jammeh nit ñi dañ daan ragal pour wax waaye 2016 bu ñëwee ragal boobu dafa génn da ngaa gis businessman bi di wax keneen di wax waaye léegi dafa ñëwaat gis nga businessman yi man am na 3 business people ñoo xam ne ñu ngi leen def loo xam ne si dëkk bi ñooñu seen story su ma ko explainer da ngaa bëgg a jooy soo leen waxee ñu ne non yàlla nga tujjee dorong niya for next contract yi ba mbalal ko tey bilay te duma leen blame seen jobo dañ leen a dundal
Fatou
kenn bëggut a mel luñ def Alaaji Konte man every day dama day joxe Alaaji Konte exemple because luñ ko def dafa ñaaw te dafa wrong Alaaji Konte Gambien la war naa mun a bokk fu ko neex loolu warut a tax du mun a liggéey si réew bi nga xam ne projet am bi moo am du politique moo ko jox ñaxam la kooku lim dee dundal Gunjur lim dee dugal kombo suñ la ko waxee kombo lim dee def si dëkk bii tey nga yaaxal ko loolu noonu xam nga ñaata families nga yaaxal réew mi doxut te Barrow moom I hope ne seetaan na li mu waxaat ak nitam yi te maa ngi ñëw ne maa gaaji ko dina ñëw state capture foog ñu wax ci man daal waxtu bi jeex na